this video, we will be discussing how to set your scale before performing your takeoffs. Our program will not enable you to perform any type of takeoffs until you have set your scale. Zoom in on your scale by scrolling up on your mouse, and again you can always right click and drag in order to navigate throughout your drawings. Once you have found your scale, there are two methods on setting your scale. Coming up top here, you can click either Set Scale or Set Custom Scale. The first option, which is Set Scale, is the quickest and the easiest method of setting your scale, but it may not necessarily be the most accurate way of setting, and I'll explain what I mean by that here in a minute. Set Custom Scale will enable you to set a custom scale by clicking between any 2 points in your drawing and then telling our program what that distance should be. The first option, which is Set Scale, if you choose to use this option, is pretty straightforward. By default, the system is always set to imperial. You can change it to metric if the drawings that you received are in the metric system. Once you have determined what your scale is, for example on this drawing it shows that 1/4 inch equals a foot, you can click on the Select Scale drop down, and there are lots of different scales that you can choose from. On this one, I'm going to choose the 1/4 scale like how it shows it should be on this drawing. You can also click Apply to all drawings, but we do not recommend using this option because if you do so and you move to another drawing and you do not realize that it is to a different scale, it will make your takeoffs inaccurate. So we always recommend setting your scale individually for each page. Then click on Save, and there you have your scale set. Like I mentioned a minute ago, that method of setting your scale may not always be the most accurate way of setting it, and it's not because of a glitch in our program. The most common reason of why that method of setting your scale may not be accurate is because the scale that is written down here by the architect may not be correct, or the drawings were shrunk down before they were, for example, emailed or downloaded. If that is the case, that is why we also provide the second option, which is the option that we would recommend to use more often, and that is a Set Custom Scale. When you click on Set Custom Scale, your pointer will change into a crosshair, and you can click over anything that you know of its definitive length. You can use graphical scales if there has been one that's provided for you, or for example on this drawing I can use dimension lines. Left click on one end of your measurement, a blue line will follow behind you. Left click on the other end and type in your scale. On this line it has been set up as 27 feet, so simply type in 27 for 27 feet and then click Save. You may not always have an easy dimension line mat available for you. If that is the case, you can also use dimension lines that have inches in them. I'm going to move to a different floor plan, and for example on this drawing, let's say I want to use the 10-foot 4-inch line dimension line right here. I can do so by clicking on Set Custom Scale, left click on one end and left click on the other, and you'll start out by typing in, for example, 10 for 10 feet, but since this line has inches in it, you will also need to convert those inches into a decimal. So 10 feet 4 inches will be typed in as 10.3 repeat, and then click Save. So you can see it is very straightforward setting your custom scales. But your custom scales will almost always be accurate, even if the scale that was written down was incorrect or if the drawings were shrunk down, as long as you have typed them in properly. In the next video, we'll be introducing you to your layers.